Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Israel Brief with me, Rolene Marks, where I take a look at those top stories dominating the headlines in Israel. I do it every Monday to Thursday in the incredible company of you guys and with the help of these guys, lay of the land. Now, I do have to apologize. I love you guys. You keep me in line. Yesterday, I was out of the studio. I was in and around Tel Aviv and filmed the Israel Brief spontaneously and therefore did not take the audience question of the day. And boy, do I hear it from you guys when I forget to. But I do have to say, thank you for keeping me in check, keeping me in line, and making sure that I do my job. So today's question is from Hillary Gordon. We're going to unpack that a little later. But first, let's take a look at the headlines. It is day 306 since the start of Israel's war with Hamas. Today is the 7th of August. And today also marks exactly 10 months since the horrific attacks of the 7th of October, which plunged Israel into war. And to date, we still have 115 hostages waiting to come home. Some of them are no longer with us. We want to bring them home so their families have a place to weep at their graves. And we want to bring those that, please God, are still alive home so that they can be held in the comfort of their families and begin their road to recovery. And as always, we have our yellow ribbons for our hostages, and this will not come off until the last hostage is home. So let's take a look at those top stories, and we are still in a situation of hurry up and wait to see when Iran is going to launch their reprisal attack against the state of Israel that they have been rattling their sabers and threatening to do since the elimination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran last week. Now, yesterday, Nasrallah, the head of Hezbollah, a proxy of Iran, gave a speech where he said that the psychological torment is part of the strategy and said that this is part of torturing Israelis so that they don't know when, how, or where Hezbollah and Iran will strike. Well, I hate to disappoint you, Mr. Nasrallah. Israelis, yes, it is very tense here in Israel, but we're going about our daily lives. You guys have been attacking us for decades. We're pretty used to you by now, so we just managed to get on with our lives as is part of our resilience, and you will not deter us. Now, many airlines have cancelled their flights to Israel. However, the El Al Airlines and Israel Airports Authority say the skies above Israel are perfectly safe. El Al is continuing to fly. There are some pundits that think that we could possibly be attacked by Iran and proxies tomorrow being Thursday or on Friday. And some believe that extensive diplomatic efforts by the United States, Arab countries, as well as the European countries might push off the attack. But I think that there will be some kind of attack. Iran will want to kind of save face. It was extremely humiliating for them to have the leader of Hamas eliminated on their soil. Israel has not confirmed or denied whether or not we carried out the elimination. However, you can read a minute-by-minute account in the Jewish Chronicle. All you have to do is Google the Jewish Chronicle inside the elimination of Ismail Haniyeh. In the meantime, the Canadian Embassy to Israel have evacuated the family of their staff to neighboring Jordan, and UNIFIL, that is United Nations Interim Forces in Lebanon, who basically have done nothing to make sure that Hezbollah comply with UN Resolution 1701, which insists they stay north of the Litani River, the Blue Line, have evacuated their families from southern Lebanon. Hamas has named Israel's #1 wanted man Yahya Sinwar as the new head of Hamas. This follows the elimination of Ismail Haniyeh last week. Now, Sinwar is believed to be scurrying amongst the terror tunnels beneath the Gaza Strip. And what is quite interesting is we have heard comment from some Palestinians in Gaza saying, how do you intend to lead us? How do you intend to conduct negotiations when you are underground? How do you intend to do this? But one thing is for sure, that if you had any doubts about the belligerency of Hamas and that they are really an extreme radical organization, a terror organization, you only need to look at this move. Now, I do get some really repugnant messages, both on our YouTube comments and on our Facebook comments, by people saying all sorts of horrendous things about Israel. I do remove them, but to the person thinking that Hamas are freedom fighters, you might want to take a gander at the charter. I know you were upset that the algorithm brought you to the Israel brief yesterday. Perhaps you are in desperate need of some education, and I really think that you should give the Hamas charter a very good read, and then decide after that whether or not you think Hamas are the freedom fighting party of choice. Israel's foreign minister, Israel Katz, has said that the election or the choice of Sinwar to head Hamas is proof that the Palestinian issue truly is controlled by Iran and by Hamas. Israel's outgoing ambassador to the United Nations, Gilad Erdan, and can we just take a minute to acknowledge the extraordinary job that he has done in one of the most hostile environments in the world, gave his outgoing speech yesterday. He accused the United Nations of hypocrisy and said that the world is once again silent, just like they were after the Wannsee conference that called for the final solution of the Jews during the rule of the Nazis in the 1930s and 40s. He said that the United Nations and the countries of the world have been silent as Iran threatens to attack Israel through its use of its proxies. The ambassador said Iran and its proxies must understand that Israel will not be deterred, and said that he did everything in his power to bring to attention the plight of our hostages and also the use of sexual violence against Israeli women and girls, and, as we know, men. On the 7th of October, he said, I did everything I could. He says, I wanted to speak for those who can no longer speak for themselves. The ambassador will be replaced by Danny Danon, who will represent Israel in his second term as Israel's ambassador to the United Nations. And finally, Western ambassadors have decided that they will not be attending the Nagasaki atomic bomb memorial due to take place in Japan very soon. The reason, they say, is because Israel was not invited. So we really appreciate this massive show of solidarity. The reason that the Japanese authorities have given is security concerns. Now, this issue of security concerns seems to be a common excuse being given lately by various countries and organizations who don't want Israeli people or entities or Jews present at anything. They use the excuse security concern. G7 country ambassadors will send junior diplomats, and what is quite interesting is that Rahm Emanuel, the United States ambassador to Japan, insisted Israel be invited, and his conspicuous absence makes quite the statement, given that the US dropped the bomb on Nagasaki at the end of World War II. Okay, so now it's time for the audience question. I promise not to let you down again today, and thank you to Hillary Gordon. Hillary wanted to know more about the report from CNN that says that Israel has not destroyed as many Hamas battalions as we say we have inside the Gaza Strip. Now, the IDF have vehemently denied this, saying that they have, and this is not the first time that CNN has put out these kind of, to use a polite word, erroneous reports making allegations against Israel. We've seen reports before where they said Israel deliberately targeted the journalist Shireen Abu Akleh. Now they're saying that their evidence, their investigations have said that Israel has not completed this task. However, Hillary, not only have the IDF flat out denied it, I'm going to read you a little bit from Andrew Fox. He is a former officer in the British Army who has visited Israel recently. He has been into Gaza with a contingent of IDF, and he says that I consider the IDF's operational design in Gaza to be a masterpiece that should be studied in every Western military college. There is a desperation in some Western commentary to declare the Operation Swords of Iron to be a failure. The report from CNN is a classic example of the genre and continues their month-long drumbeat on the topic. It is akin to declaring D-Day to be a failure because the Allies did not seize Berlin in June 1944. This is a long war against a formed and tenacious terror army. IDF sources I spoke to predicted another 6 to 18 months to finish the job if a ceasefire is not agreed. But there you have it from a military official who has not only said that Israel's conduct in the way we are prosecuting this war has been exemplary, but also that these kind of reports, especially coming from CNN, is basically full of beep. You can fill in whatever word you want there. So that brings me to the end of today's edition of the Israel Brief. If you have an audience question, please pop it in the comments section below. And don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our Facebook community is, as always, at Lottle's site. Our YouTube channel is right here at the Israel Brief. If you like us, please click that red subscribe button and share with all your friends. And we're on X at Lay of the Land 5. I'm Rolly Marks. This is the Israel Brief. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless and bye for now.